used to give.
It's time to set goals.
Time to set goals or intentions. What do you like to use, goals or intentions?
To me, intentions is even a little bit deeper than goals. So intentions come from the soul. You know, goals are the things that you want to, the small things that help you get to where you want to be. And the intention is really from the soul, what's important to you and what you're reaching for. So to me, that there's a little bit of a difference there between the two. So I like to help find the intentions, set the intentions, and then set those goals and go after it.
Okay. So for instance, common goal is, of course, I need to lose weight. So that's a goal. But what would you say is an intention behind that normally?
The intention is that you want to be healthier, right? So my intention is that right now I am on blood pressure medicine and cholesterol medicine because I had high blood pressure and high cholesterol. And so my intentions is that I want to be healthier. It's my why. Why am I setting these goals? Because I want to be healthier. And so then my goal is I'm going to exercise 4 to 5 times a week. And I'm going to be careful with the food that goes into my mouth, because those little goals then help me get to that thing that I really want. And the thing that I really want is to be healthy and enjoy life.
Right. And then that's really, I think, one of the keys, right, for setting goals or intentions or this time is that people tend to set a resolution or a goal and it's, I want to lose 10 pounds. Well, then the first time you have a piece of chocolate cake in front of you, you're like, oh, but
why.
right now, but it is finding your why, correct?
Right. It's really easy to set a bunch of goals and then even have them on a tracker, and track what you're doing. But unless you know why you're really going after that goal, then you can really lose your focus and your motivation really quickly.
Okay. So when you're coaching people around this time, you're helping them find what's their why. And then they're setting their intentions and then backtracking into goals. So So one of the things that I struggle with is I set goals all the time. I'm really good at setting goals.
Really good at setting goals.
And intentions. I just don't follow up. So how do you help people, or what advice do you give people to help them stay on track?
That's a good question. Because we're all different, then we all need kind of different motivations, right? So people like me who are very list oriented, I like to write down my goals for the week in like a track them in a healthy habit tracking system, right? I like to give myself a gold star because that's just the way I do things. There are other people that stresses them out completely, and they need, different ways to keep their motivation. So, but definitely one of the things that I always recommend is writing things down. And that's why I like using a planner so much, because when you write it down, it's really important to you, and you're solidifying it in your mind and on paper, where you can not just think about it, but you can see it written down too. And so that's one thing that I always encourage people to do.
So you actually have a planner that helps people. How do you recommend using that planner or any other planner for folks to carry that goal with them and to be, because I write it down in a notebook, but then then I'm working in other notebooks, so I don't always see it to remember it. So how do I keep it top of mind?
That's why I like my planner is a digital planner. And so what I really like about that is not just that it saves paper, but that my iPad is with me, almost all the time. So when I'm sitting there working on my computer and doing whatever, usually my iPad is right there with me too, because I'm usually referencing different things. And so it's there, it's open, it's before me. And another thing that I also encourage people to do is to write down their their action items and write down their affirmations, and on sticky notes, post it where you're going to be able to see it a lot. That is key. Keeping it in front of you where you focus on it, that's a very important thing. So that question is a good one, because you've got to do what keeps it right in the forefront of your mind, in front of your eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's why I lose track of mine. Is at the beginning of the year, you set great expectations, great intentions, great goals, and then you lose track of them.
And so in your planner and in many planners, you have like the month, and then you have all the weeks. So you can break it down by months and put it like, say, January. Here's in January, what's the steps to get me to this goal, and then from January, how do you transition it for the weeks?
For the weeks, then you've got your goals for January, and then you just break down your action items. What are the things that you need to do that support that goal? What are the action items that only you can do, and you write those down and work on those throughout the week. I call that my healthy habit tracker, but for me, it's just creating new healthy habits, because, bad habits are hard to break, but when you're concentrating on the new habit and the new thing that you're trying to get done, it's written down and it's there before you, and every day you're trying to do something, some action item to support that. That's when you have success, because you're working step by step to that goal.
Yeah. And that's interesting you say that about habits. I just finished reading Better Than Before by Gretchen Rubens. And that was one of the things that she did some research and said that people can't just break a bad habit. You really have to replace it with a good habit.
Right.
Interesting concept.
Yeah. Because where your focus is, that's where your actions go too. So what you're thinking about, your thoughts become your beliefs become your actions, and it just creates a cycle. So yes, you've got to, it's what you're focused on.
And I also noticed in your planner, you have a page for a vision board. So talk to people about what's a vision board, and especially on a digital planner, how do you use that?
To me, it's easier on a digital planner than it is like a piece of poster board where you're trying to cut out all of your pictures and cut out all of the words that you want to put on it. But basically, what the vision board is you can go in and find pictures online and then just add them to your planner. And those pictures represent the things that you really want to achieve, or the things that are really important to you throughout the year. So for instance, I had a lady one time in one of my vision board courses. We all met together. We talked about all of our goals for the next couple of months. And then we, sat down with magazines and cut out pictures and this, that, and the other of things that were really important to us for the next couple of months. And she put all these kinds of pictures on it, like a house with a wraparound porch, a new washer, and several other things. And then about, I think 3 or 4 months later, she called me and she said, guess what? I got to take the washing machine picture off of my vision board and replace it with something else now, because we accomplished that. The actions behind that were foregoing Starbucks several times a week so that they could save the money, quicker to be able to get the washing machine.
Yeah.
And that really goes back to what you were saying earlier about keeping it in the forefront. Some people are really better with words that they'll read all the time, and some people are better with visuals that pictures, a vision board can really, put that.
Yeah, we had one in our house for a while that you put together. That was cool. It
didn't have an RV on it.
Didn't have an RV on it. No.
My vision board in our house, when we were in our sticks and bricks house, the vision board actually had floor plan of the RV that we wanted. We had the camper sitting out in the driveway, but I had the floor plan that we wanted on the vision board.
Yeah, excellent. We've got a goal and we've got our action plan and we have our daily. So you set a priority and you say, okay, well, I know I need to do X today in order to get closer to the my goal. But then life happens and lots of things say, oh no, this is more important. I have to do the laundry and I have to do the dishes and I have to do this and that. What advice do you give folks to help them stay focused on their priorities?
Yeah, that's a good question too. And if anybody has found that life gets in the way, it's me. So here's what I do with that. In my planner every day, there's up at the top, it's called my top 3 priorities. The top 3 things that I have to do that day, I write those things down and I schedule those. I had a mentor one time when I was going through my coach's training, and we were talking about priorities and, you know, prioritizing the schedule and this, that, and the other. And he said something that has stuck with me. And from then on, I've done it. He said, quit prioritizing your schedule and schedule your priorities. So what you do is the things that are most important, those go on the calendar first. And then you fill in the calendar with everything else. Now, yes, life happens, but when something comes up and you have to take a break for a few minutes, you can come back to it and go, okay, this is where I was, and I'm going to finish this. And then when you're finished with one of those things, you know, it's easy to look back at the day and say, man, life happened and the proverbial poop hit the fan. But I was productive. I got this, and this done. And just because those were your top 3 priorities and you put them above everything else.
Okay, Renetta, tell everyone about this digital planner you've mentioned a couple of times. We know you just released it. Tell us a little bit about it.
For the past 4 years, I used a planner. I couldn't find a planner that I really liked, and I found a digital planner online. And I opened it up and kind of started playing with it, and I thought, this is really cool. But it's still not really what I want and what I would use. So I decided, learn how to make one. So I did. I taught myself how to make a digital planner. And so that's where mine came from. And so it's all the stuff that I have used for the past 4 years and found helpful. Although I am willing to tweak it more when people tell me, hey, I would like, you know, more room for this, then I do some tweaking on it and redo it for the next one. But it is mine. It's what I've used. It's tried and true so far.
And where
Plus,
do
it
people
doesn't
find
use
it?
paper, and inevitably with a digital with a paper planner, like you wouldn't have enough pages in one section, and you're like, now what do I do? And so with a digital one, you can go in and just add in how many ever pages you want in there. And, you know, with a paper planner, you would pull a page out and throw it away because you're like, well, I messed that up and now I don't want it in there. With the digital planner, you just delete it. You don't even have the trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now,
Cool.
and her digital planner is one that you can write in. I have the iPad version, so I can write it in with my iPad pen. If somebody doesn't have an iPad, how do they write in it?
So I have a client who's using it right now on her computer, and she types in. She uses a different app. So the preferred way to use it is on an iPad or another. You know, it doesn't have to be an iPad. It can be the Microsoft version of that too. And I use GoodNotes. It does cost $7.99, but to me it was absolutely worth it because I use it all the time. And then when you use it in GoodNotes, you download the file and then open it up in GoodNotes. And when you do, you can click on all those tabs. It's got lots of hyperlinks in it that take you from day to day and from section to section easily.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. And where would people find this planner?
They will find this planner on renettamoore.com and go to the store page on my website. That's my website. So it's renettamoore.com.
Awesome.
Perfect.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you, Renetta. Thanks
So
for
now there
joining
is
us.
no reason people don't have goals and
That's
plans
right.
for the year.
Get busy.
That's right. That's right. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Renetta. It was great seeing you, and hope to run into you and Jay soon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks for listening about my planner.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
Absolutely.